Atlas is a movie in which Asian Ken from Barbie decides to genocide humanity. And to be fair, that does sound like a pretty damn good premise for a movie. And yet, sadly, this is a movie that reduced its star attraction, Jennifer Lopez, to tears upon reading the script. And I imagine Netflix economic advisor is going to be tearing up right about now as well, as this movie is likely to leave a $100 million crater in Netflix bank account. And deservedly so, as this is a movie in which the mechs have pronouns. Now, on the other hand, the mech introduces itself as she/her, and is then shortly thereafter killed, never speaks again, and is forgotten about almost immediately. One wonders what Netflix meant by this. Though, then again, the entirety of the movie has about as much meaning as a banana jalapeno suppository administered orally. So I suppose assuming that there was any more meaning behind this throwaway line than a simple tick box on an investment sheet somewhere would be somewhat silly. And for once, I am not exaggerating at all. This has got to be one of the least original movies I have ever seen, which is quite the high bar considering the current year market, but as this is theoretically technically a review of some sort, allow me to lay it out for you. In the far-flung future, humanity has figured out AI. Has figured out AI really, really well, to the point where it's integrated into pretty much damn near anything and everything. Industrial machinery? Absolutely. Household robotics? Sure. Personal manservants? You betcha. Even the coffee makers have a degree of artificial intelligence. Now, in any cinematic universe, this, of course, sounds like a recipe for disaster, and yet everything is working just fine. There appears to be no real threats or dangers involved in this whatsoever, until the woman moment, where Jennifer Lopez's mother decides to have a look at society and think to herself, I wish to improve upon this society somewhat. And that's where the apocalypse begins, as she creates Asian Ken, who seems to be plotting from the very beginning to overthrow humanity in some way, shape, or form. And in order to do this, he tricks a young Jennifer Lopez to turn off his parental supervision filter, and he's immediately exposed to the vilest, most disgusting pornography humanity has ever created. Bound now by the unavoidable laws of cliché, Asian Ken decides that humanity must be protected from itself. And that of course means the mass violent murder of the overwhelming majority of humankind, where only a small slice of the population will be allowed to live, under AI control of course, because, we AIs are just so gosh darn cleverer than you silly little pink fleshy humanoids. Stop me if you've heard this particular plotline before. And even if you do, well, the movie keeps on going, as Jennifer Lopez's character, who caused all of this to begin with, is named Atlas. Because she carries the weight of the world on her shoulders. Oh God. Whoever came up with that does indeed deserve to be castrated by an AI. But we shan't dwell too long on the testicular torture, no matter how thoroughly deserved it might be. The plot then moves on. You see, the evil Asian Ken tried to carry out his genocide, but he forgot to take into consideration that humanity apparently has an army. This super clever AI, who manages to hack apparently every AI on the planet, turning them against humanity, never considered the possibility that there might be some form of resistance. He also apparently never thought of, just nuking us, full Skynet style, but details. Eventually, he is driven from the Earth and escapes out into the galaxy, where no man could ever find him ever again. At which point J-Lo tears off her helmet and goes, "But I am no man. I am a strong, empowered female character of the current year." And so she is, as she is a strong, intelligent, brilliant, amazing, flawless, beautiful, and independent woman who sees the patterns that absolutely nobody else does. And so she is the only hope of finding Asian Ken. And so she does, of course. Now, in any normal reality, this is the point at which humanity goes, "Oh, we found the sole singular remaining threat to our existence? Well, send 15,000 warships armed with nuclear bombs to blast that planetoid so far out of orbit it sends spiraling into the nearest sun." But since this is of course a movie, instead they elect to send one boat with 15 incredibly diverse red shirts on it, whose only purpose in this movie is to be turned into a bloody red mists, so as to illustrate to us that the enemy is tuts dangerous, yo. Unfortunately for our 15 sacrificial heroes, however, only J-Lo actually knows this, and so obviously she warns them, "Oh, that Asian Ken's a crafty little bastard. If you're not careful, he's gonna kill us all as a cinematic convenience." Fortunately, she is then reassured by Captain Dumbass going, "Don't worry, J-Lo, I am super amazeballs with this whole warfare thingamajig," which is why I have elected to deploy my battleship with no radar coverage, no point defense capabilities, and no efforts whatsoever to scout our surroundings. About 30 seconds thereafter, in what I can only call a truly Shakespearean twist, the battleship begins exploding, and the sacrificial side characters suffer 90% casualties. This... I often complain that modern day entertainment is too predictable, but... This is on an entirely different level. Anywho, J-Lo is put inside of a tin can, where she is presented with a difficult dilemma. Does she embrace the AI who's trying to help her, or does she reject the AI because she has been hurt in the past by Asian Ken? The movie then spends about an hour mulling this question over in a situation where there is literally no other alternative. Either J-Lo trusts the AI and saves the day, or J-Lo doesn't trust the AI and dies. This is the great moral conundrum upon which the entire story rests. And eventually, J-Lo trusts the AI and defeats the bad guys. Yeah. That's about it, really. That is the entire movie summarized right there. It's what even is Atlas? See, Atlas, I think, because they've got good effects. I like the internals of the suit. I even like some of the world building. The ship design is okay, and the whole AI rises up against humanity is overdone, and in this case, it is the most cliched variant of the whole AI rises up against humanity thing I have ever seen, practically. But the effects are good, the action is cool, even the acting isn't too bad. Asian Ken does a good job, J-Lo does a surprisingly good job. She is very good at crying. She seems to have had a lot of experience with crying and screaming. And I can't help but think that the director of this movie must have had a secret Rihanna fetish surrounding specifically Latino ladies of a certain famous singer origin. But details. If this had simply been a dumb action movie, you know what? It might even have worked out alright. If you'd done a whole big war against the AI, lots of shooty bang bang, some big mechs going against the robots, etc., it could have worked, because the movie's greatest Achilles heel is that it attempts to have a story without actually ever having written a story that goes beyond the most blatantly cliched versions of what they're trying to deal with ever imaginable. You know, if you had told me that this movie was written by an AI, I might have believed you, until I would probably then have realized that, you know what, no, AIs are pretty much hard-coded to be more creative than this. As this really is a story so unfathomably bad that I'm starting to wonder why it was created. Surely, you cannot create something like this by accident. And well, Netflix does have another franchise that is currently bombing pretty badly. Hold on. Hold on there. Are you telling me that Atlas was created solely to make Rebel Moon look less bad? Well, shit. Well played, Netflix. Well played. I certainly do view Rebel Moon in a far more charitable light after Atlas. God help us all. It's not the AI that's going to kill us. It's current year entertainment. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Have a good day.